What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, it's a new day, and we got a whole lot to talk about. DeWanna Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, Nafisa Collier, and a whole lot more is on tap today because, and also, I'm going to give y'all a quick rundown of my first day as the press. Anyway, that and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Guys, I'm excited today. We got in my opinion, I got a great show for y'all. And we're going to dive into it. First up, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. I want to set the scene, and we'll get into our topics, okay? So here's the scenario for you. Imagine this in your head. Okay? Imagine this. Your contract just ran out at your job. Now you are officially a free agent. You've built your name over the years, and your resume really does speak for itself, right? You're not just good at what you do, you are elite at what you do. Everyone in your industry knows you, and they want you. And now your phone will not stop ringing. On one side, you got two major options, right? On one side, you got Company A. Company A, they're the hot shots, right? They're the folks who are all over the headlines. They're flush with talent, with new talent. They got shiny new offices, energy through the roof. Everyone's watching them. Everyone's talking about them. Everyone's celebrating them. They got a lot of attention, and they tell you straight up, you're the missing piece. You're the one who can help to take us to the next level. You can help us be unstoppable. And the scenario gets a little bit better because your old boss actually just joined this company, Company A. And she's someone you know, someone you trust, and someone who knows how to get the best out of you because she was your leader for a couple of years. You can see yourself walking into Company A and kind of owning the place. Then you got Company B. Company B is where you kind of started your career, right? This is the place that made you. You've won big there multiple times. You've made lifelong memories, and you got ties to Company B. Ties that run deep. But you spent some time away, and it's a little bit different now. The company's been through a rough patch. They've lost some key people, and they're looking to rebuild and be successful. And they say they need you. They want you to help build their new infrastructure, right? To sweeten the pot, hey, you got family there. Someone that you're close to, someone you love, someone who you trust with your life is already now at the center of Company B, right? They're at the center of everything that Company B is trying to build. So, who do you choose? Where do you go? Where do you go? Most people would say, hey, I'm going with the hype. Give me Company A. And that's what you do. You go to Company A. You take the big, shiny offer at the big, shiny company, and you walk in the door to a hero's welcome. Cameras flashing, everyone's smiling. The feels, the vibe is immaculate at first. But then reality sets in. This isn't really what you thought it would be. Your role changes. You're asked to do things that don't necessarily play to your strengths. The chemistry just isn't there. You're trying to put in the work, but the results just are not coming. You know, the people who once cheered for you to make this move to Company A, you know, they're turning their backs. They're starting to question whether or not you still have it, whether or not you still should be working. They're saying you're old, You're washed. You're done. Just retire. Eventually, you make the only move that you think you can. You raise your hand and you say, this isn't working, so I want out. And they put you on ice a little bit for a little while, and then ultimately, they let you go. Just like that. So now, you're back where you started. You are unemployed. A free agent once again. And the doubters, they get a little bit louder. But through all the noise, you keep thinking about Company B. That old place, the one where you felt at home at. Where you already knew some of the people. You already knew the culture. You already knew the city. You already knew the fans. And the place where your family's waiting for you. And this time, you take a little bit of time and you decide on Company B. You take it. And from day one at Company B, part 2, you start to feel something different. You walk back in those doors and it's like you never left. You're feeling comfortable. You're feeling confident. And when the work starts, day 1, you do well. Day 2, you blow the roof off the joint. And suddenly, the narrative flips. The same people who called you washed are now saying you finessed Company A. You finessed them. And you were all in it for the money. And you got in and got out. Because the truth is, but here's the truth, guys. It was never totally about what you could do. It was about where you fit. And right now, you are in the right place at the right time, and you're shining again. So guys, that little storytelling thing really is, in some ways, the story of DeWanna Bonner. Right? She was a fantastic WNBA player. Made the decision to go to the Indiana Fever, a team that was very hyped, a team that had a lot of that is growing and still is doing some great stuff. A team that has a young core, a team that brought in DeWanna's former coach, right? So she goes there, gets paid a lot of money. Doesn't look good. The situation does not look good, right? And it's decided, hey, actually, no, this isn't the place that actually works for me. What I expected is not what's happening. And so I need to go out. And so she was gone for a while for the Phoenix Mercury. We didn't know what was going on, but supposedly behind the scenes, they were trying to see if they could make a trade or something. But ultimately they waived her. And now she finds her way in Phoenix. The reason why I wanted to do that Company A, Company B thing, because I really wanted you to kind of imagine this scenario. Because, yeah, she made the decision that it just wasn't working. And, you know, it's a thing, okay? It's absolutely a thing. And I wanted to talk about it because yesterday, we saw DeWanna Bonner have herself a fantastic, and I mean absolutely fan-freaking-tastic game against the Golden State Valkyries. So, now we're going to get into the game. We're going to get into the game that was yesterday between the Golden State Valkyries and the Phoenix Mercury, okay? All right, let's go straight into it. Okay. And guys, I will get to some of y'all comments. I understand that some of y'all just don't like her, which, okay, whatever. But you gotta admit, fit really is everything. It really is. It really is. I don't think she finessed Indiana. I don't. I really do think that she thought it was gonna work, and it didn't work out. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's life. That's why I wanted to sell it in a sort of storytelling kind of way, because maybe you all have experienced that. I know I have, where you're like, you go in one route, because you're like, you know what, this is going to be very successful for me, because of all the things, and it turns out not to work out, right? And it turns out that, hey, that was actually a bad move. And then you change course and you learn from there. It happens. It's life, right? No one is a predictor of the future, and you kind of got to go with what you think might work. And that's what I think happened. Personally, that really is what I think happened. And, anyway. But yeah, absolutely feel whatever you feel. But yeah, that's my take on it. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So let's get to the game yesterday. All right. Now we're switching gears to the actual game that happened. So yesterday we saw the Phoenix Mercury take on the Golden State Valkyries in Golden State. The Valkyries are one of the toughest teams to play against on the road, because that crowd is loud. Their cheers are loud. Their boos are loud. They're sold out every game, and they're just loud. So it's a tough deal to go into Golden State and get the win, because not only are you dealing with the six-man mindset of the players of the Golden State Valkyries, you're also dealing with a very, very energetic fan base. Okay? Right? And so we start off in Golden State, and from the get-go, Phoenix is knocking down some shots, right? We start off the game, and Phoenix is they're doing their thing, right? Doing their thing when it comes to the three-point shot. You got Kat Westbell knocking down threes. You got Sammy Wickham, Monica Cole-McConney. Like, this fantastic start by the Phoenix Mercury. But the thing that we always have to remember, guys, is that basketball is a game of runs. So yes, the first couple of minutes of the game was all Phoenix, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Golden State Valkyries, playing some really good defense, knocking down some big shots of their own, and they slowly start to come back using the three-point shots, which is what originally gave the Phoenix Mercury the lead. And then it's a battle from there on out for the rest of the game, where both teams kind of go on a series of runs, right? In the first quarter, it was both of the teams. In the second quarter, it was more of Phoenix. In the third, we end up seeing Golden State kind of make a massive comeback. And in the fourth quarter, neck and neck. And I want to actually talk through the final couple of plays of the game. So this game went down to the wire. Yes, you all see it's a 1-point game. It's a 1-point game for a reason, because, y'all, actually, first of all, in my opinion, both teams had opportunities to close this game out at the top of the fourth quarter. Now, hey, you got to make the most of your opportunities, and the Mercury did make the most of that opportunities. But like, this game, for both teams, there were opportunities for both teams to really just shut the nail in the door and just kind of end it from there. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay, but I want to talk through what happened yesterday. Right? I want to talk through the last couple of minutes. So, we're at about a minute left in the game, and the Phoenix Mercury have the lead, right? 75-72. Right? 75-72. DeWanna Bonner ends up making a layup off of an Alyssa Thomas pass, because Alyssa Thomas, she had 11 assists in yesterday's game, and I think 5 of those assists were to was to DeWanna Bonner. And so yeah. Anyway, so DeWanna makes the layup. Boom. 3-point lead for the for the Phoenix Mercury, right? And then we see multiple possessions of just not great play from for both teams actually, but ultimately we see Kayla Thornton end up fouling DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna goes to the free throw line, and okay, boom, she misses the first free throw. Crowd goes wild. She makes the second. Okay, now we got a 4-point game, 76-72. We got 15 seconds left to go in the game. So, Golden State, quick timeout. Ball goes to Janelle Salon, someone who can knock down threes for days. Janelle gets the basketball, quick trigger 3 on a great pass from Veronica Burton. 3-point shot, made, bucket. Now, 76, Phoenix, 75, Falcons. The Valkyries crowd is smelling like, oh, okay, maybe we can get back in this game. Maybe we can win it. Maybe. Crowd is going wild. All right. DeWanna Bonner gets fouled again. Free throws are very important, guys. Very important. Because time is winding down. They got to foul. They don't have a choice. They're losing by 2 points. They got to foul. And hope that DeWanna misses. DeWanna gets to the free throw line, misses the first shot. Makes the first shot, misses the second shot. Monique Billings gets the rebound. Quick timeout to advance the basketball. And we see the ball go to Janelle Salon again. Janelle Salon, jumper, cash. With 6 seconds left to go. We are all tied up, ladies and gentlemen. We are all tied up 77-77. Crazy. Boom. Now, no one's trying to foul. Right? You're trying to play straight up because it's tied up. So, worst case scenario, sure, you can go to overtime if you don't foul. Don't foul. Phoenix Mercury have the basketball. Of course, Alyssa Thomas has it. Alyssa Thomas drives to the basket, gets fouled on the shot, and I know there's a lot of controversy to it. I think Natalie Nakase didn't like that foul call. It was a foul. Like she was fouled on the body. Like it was a foul. It was a foul. Now, could the refs have held their whistle? Absolutely. But in my opinion, it was a foul. Alyssa Thomas gets fouled with 1 second left to go in the game. 1 second left. A controversial foul. Whistle blows. She gets to the free throw line. And she misses the first. Crowd goes wild. Yes, we still have a chance. They're booing Alyssa Thomas. Miss the second. Miss it. But Alyssa Thomas makes the second free throw with 1 second left to go. Golden State has no time to really do anything. Game over. 78-77. Lots of dramatics in the last couple of seconds of this game, but this was a fire game. This was a fire game that was all about how the Golden State Valkyries are constantly just in it with just about every team, right? This team, the Golden State Valkyries is 10-11 on the season, right? This is a team that's had some pretty huge wins. Huge. Against very good teams. And at one point in yesterday's game, it felt like, oh, the Golden State Valkyries are going to win this. But I think they may beat Phoenix. I think they may win that game. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it was free throws that sealed the deal for sure. But a thing to note, guys, Phoenix was playing without two of their stars. Satu Sabli and Kalia Copper were both out yesterday. And, hey, you still see the Phoenix Mercury end up getting the dub in the game. And as always, when I'm talking about Golden State, I always talk about how they're a team of 6 man. This is a team that is elite. They play together. They play like a well-oiled machine. Every single player who gets on the court, it's great. It's great to see. From Janelle Salon, who had 12 points in yesterday's game, to Tiff Hayes and Veronica Burton, who had 15 and 17. I really do enjoy watching this Golden State Valkyries team. I think they really are one of the funnest teams in the WNBA with, in my opinion, one of the best coaches out there. Natalie Nakase has proven herself to be an elite coach. And Ohima Nyan, I believe that's her last name, the GM, has proven herself to be a really good GM. This Golden State Valkyries team, is in a lot of ways the motto. They're a motto of what an expansion team could be, right? They're a model of it, because there's a lot of times where you see an expansion team and they come in and they're bad. They're not very good. The expansion team is expansioning. Like they're not great, right? And we see them take a little bit of time to get their bearings. Takes a little bit of time to get fans in the building and whatnot. But from the get-go, the Golden State Valkyries have sold out every single game this season? Every single home game? Sold out? Like what? What are we talking about here? Like how good is this team? Again, this team is very, very good without any real stars. No real stars on the squad. And yet and still, they are absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Right? So when we talk about awesome teams, when we talk about awesome games, don't just look at the best teams in the league. Don't just look at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to the standings. Look at what all these other players and all these other teams are doing, because there is something special happening in the Bay Area. There is something very, very, very special happening, and basically every chance I get, you all can expect me to talk about it, because what Golden State is doing is not normal, guys. It's not. And it's kind of seeming like it's normal, but honestly, it's not normal. It's not. It's not normal for a team to show up on day one and be amazing in terms of fans, in terms of sales, in terms of competitiveness on the court. Like, what we talking about here? What we talking about? This team is rocking and rolling, and I love to see it. So yeah, every chance I get, you will hear me singing the praises of Natalie Nakase, of Ohima, of everybody involved in decision making for the Golden State Valkyries. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention that because yeah, I always got to talk about them. Lindy says Golden State has great chemistry. Absolutely, I completely agree. They know who's hot and to get them the ball. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see what else you all have to say before we move on to the next topic, which is the battle between Nafisa Collier and Angel Reese. Okay. All right, let's get to y'all comments and let's see what y'all have to say. Please, as always, guys, please be respectful in the chat. Don't call people out their names and all that other jazz. I mean, just try not to do it. That would be really, really awesome. Okay. Satch says, what's going on with the cuts going on in the league? Well, it was cut down day on Sunday. And so meaning that people who were on unprotected deals, if they stayed on a team past Sunday, that meant that unprotected deal became guaranteed for the rest of the year. And so teams had to, if there was any weight that you wanted to cut from your team, that was the time to do it. And so from now on out, from here on out, you basically need to make trades to get rid of players on your team, or you need to eat the cost of their salary if you pay. Okay? Okay. All right. Goody says, your title looks like an attempt to highlight things nobody cares about. Biggest event of last night was Fee versus Angel. This is the problem with women's sports journals. Well, here's the thing. I highlight what I'd like to highlight. I am going to talk about Nafisa Collier and Angel Reese because, yeah, that absolutely was a big thing. Absolutely. Completely agree. But at the same time, I put in the title what I would like to put in the title. Same thing for the thumbnail. I usually talk about way more than what's featured in the thumbnail and the title. And so, people just got to watch if they want to watch. But yeah, that's what I do. Tisha says, I seriously doubt that Bonner would purposely play badly anywhere given she and Charles are both still active and trying to secure that second place all-time scoring. People don't play well stressed out. I don't know if DeWanna was stressed out, but I mean, yeah, I definitely agree that, yeah, she definitely was not purposely, in my opinion, I don't think she's that type of person that she would purposely try to play badly. I don't think she was trying to finesse the Fever. I really do think that she genuinely thought it was going to work out. I think she was, whatever she was told, she thought that this whole thing was going to work out. And it didn't. And she was like, okay, I want out. And tried to find a trade. No trade was happening. And, it is what it is. Now she's in Phoenix, in my opinion, where she should have been to begin with. And so, yeah. That's my thoughts there. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the other game that happened yesterday. And guys, that game involved the Chicago Sky versus the Minnesota Lynx. And first up, I gotta just say, guys, yesterday I was media for the first time ever. Guys. I didn't think to take a selfie throughout any part of the game until the press conference, and I was like, oh, I gotta take a selfie of myself to just prove that I was here. Even though you can't really see anything, but I was in the media press room. What up, Erica? What up? Says, hey yo, happy for DeWanna Bonner. Yeah, I mean she's hey. Break. If I didn't say the stats yesterday for DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas, like they both were absolutely absolutely spectacular. Just once again, we saw Alyssa Thomas 17 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds. And DeWanna Bonner came off the bench with 22 points, 11 rebounds in yesterday's games. Like she was great. All right, so meet the press, guys. I thought that was funny. Did y'all get it? There's a show called Meet the Press. It's like it's on NBC or whatever. But yeah, it's like a legacy news program. And I was like, oh, how about I use that? Meet the press. But anyway, yes, I was the press media yesterday for the first time ever. And to be honest with you, I was kind of nervous about it because I was like, how's it gonna look? Is it gonna be awkward? You know, all that good stuff. So. Anyway, this is one of those things where this was a new experience for me. And first of all, shout out to the people at CSGO, because CSGO was the people who got me on the media list. So shout out to Tony from CSGO. I got to do that. Shout out. Also, when I got there, you know, first I had to figure out like where to go for the press thing, and we're gonna talk about the game in just a sec. I just want to lead into this. I had to find out where the press room was, and then I went there. I didn't know that press people could bring bags in, because like regular fans cannot bring bags in. And so I didn't bring my laptop. I didn't bring my like a notebook or anything. I just brought my phone, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I can bring a bag in. So I didn't bring a bag in, and now I know I'm gonna bring a bag in next time with my laptop, and when I can actually really take some serious notes and whatnot instead of just using my phone. But anyway, when I got there, you know, I got the badge. And at first I was like, am I on the list? Because they put me on the list, but I wasn't sure, you know. So I was like, oh man, I'm on the list. And so I went in and I walked around, did like a sweep of the lower part, which is pretty cool. I found out that press actually cannot walk behind the benches. And so like I did that one time, and the next time the security guard was like, actually, you're not supposed to be walking this way. You're supposed to walk all the way around the other way. And so I was like, okay, thank you for letting me know. So I took a couple of photos, and like took a couple of videos of, of the players who are warming up. I think what I have to do is make sure to get there earlier. And also, I think I'm going to bring like a real camera with me next time, so I can take like real photo, like really, really nice photos, really crispy photos. So that's a good learning for next time. So it looks like there's like a tiered system. Like there's some journalists that are like at the baseline. And there are and then the rest are up top, at the top of the 100 level. And so that's where I was. I was at the top of the 100 level. And I got to give a shout out to Stephen Gardner. And shout out to Carly Bell. Okay. I got to give a shout out to both of these people, because, I was kind of nervous when I like kind of got where I was supposed to be at. I was kind of nervous, and I asked them, I was like, hey, can I just like ask y'all a whole bunch of questions? Can I just like shadow y'all? Can I just, I'm be a little bit annoying because I don't know what I'm doing. Can I please just ask you a lot of questions? And they were like, sure, no problem. So please, shout them out on social media. I think, I'll probably tweet at them later, because they were very, very nice. And they know what they're doing. Okay. And sometimes when you're new to something, somebody has to kind of show you the ropes. And yesterday, for me, Stephen Garner, with the CHGO Sky podcast and the PHNX Mercury podcast, he showed me the ropes, helped explain stuff and whatnot. And Carly Bell of Courtside with Carly Bell did the same exact thing. And thank you. I really do appreciate it, because I didn't know what I was doing yesterday. And so, yeah, that was really cool. And then just watching the game, it was my first Sky game ever that I did not cheer, not once in the game. I watched the entire game basically with a stoic face on. Like at times I was like, oh, that was nice, you know. But like for the most part, I was not. I was like, I can't cheer. No cheering, no Sky merch, no nothing. Like I was no longer a fan. I was truly in that neutral observer mode. And so that was really, really cool to just like experience the Sky play in a different way, right? That was really cool. And then in the press conference at the end of the game, I found out that you can't go to both press conferences. You got to pick one. You either got to go to the home press conference or the away press conference. So of course I did the home. And I had 2 questions in my head of what I wanted to ask. However, 2 people asked those quickly. And then I didn't want to make a fool out of myself, so I was like, okay. I'm not gonna think of another question. Let me just sit back and just experience the whole thing. And so I didn't ask a question, but I promise next time I will ask a question. And so yeah. Anyway, yeah. I had to talk about that because yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, truly, it was a crazy experience. Just to be like literally to see the players come in the press room, and then same thing for Coach Marsh. Like it was very different for me, and just an opportunity to kind of just see what it's really like to cover the game. And so yeah, you can expect me to cover to be media for the most part all future Sky games. I actually really like the experience, and I think it's important for me to go and to really get used to that. And so absolutely, you all can expect that from me. So start listening to the post game pressers and listen for my name as I ask my question. But yeah, anyway. Again, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank y'all so much for your support. And truly, your support is what had me to be a press person for yesterday. So like, yeah, this was really fun. It was really, really, really fun. Tisha says they always say it is better to sit, to watch, listen, and observe first, and let people wonder if you don't know or understand, than to be quick to speak and remove the uncertainty. Yeah. That's absolutely. Yeah, I didn't want to ask a stupid question because I had two questions, but like they were already asked. So like, I didn't want to like try to make up a not so great one, and they're looking like, what in the world? Who let this person in? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's I'm transitioning into a real like media person, and so yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So you all will be on the journey with me as we go through all of this. Okay. So let's get into the actual game. Let's get into the actual game of it. But first, guys. I want to talk to you all about my friends at Branded Bills. So, it's the summer. Summertime is where people wear hats, right? It's a thing. But when it comes to really, really nice, awesome looking hats that will stand the test of time, well, Branded Bills really does have the game on lock. Doesn't matter what type of hat you're into. They have a variety of hats for you to choose from, even some performance tees as well. And they got you covered with the perfect mix of comfort, function, and style. Of course, you've seen hats, but you haven't seen Branded Bills hats, so make sure to check them out. If you're looking to build your own team and you're looking for some custom hats, well, you can do that with Branded Bills. They can help you customize your own headwear and bring your vision to life on the front of a hat. So, whatever you repping, you can always make sure it looks really cool and official with Branded Bills. Also, they do have a campus collections section as well, where you can pick from over 30 colleges to wear their hats also. It's LSU, South Carolina, Iowa, whatever squad is your thing, it's likely that Branded Bills has it. And so, make sure to show off the love for your favorite team in style. So make sure to go over. I'm jumping over my words. Make sure to go over to brandedbills.com and use code BBQuita. It's BBQUITA for 15% off your first order. That is BBQuita at brandedbills.com. All right. Okay, let's move on to the other game. No, that's not the graphic. There we go. Let's go to the other game that happened yesterday. And this was between the Chicago Sky and the Minnesota Lynx. So we first come into the game, and it's a pretty awesome back and forth battle between the Chicago Sky and the Minnesota Lynx, right? And it's back and forth, back and forth. We're seeing Angel Reese do a really good job being aggressive from the get-go, driving to the basket, making stuff happen. We're seeing some really good high-low action between Angel and Camilla, and Angel and E-Will, and that's looking good. And then you start off the game with Rachel Banham with Michaela Onyenwere knocking down the three-point shot, right? And that was huge yesterday. And then, right before halftime, with seconds left to go, Ariel Atkins tweaks her leg. She tweaks her leg, kind of like hops off, goes straight to the locker room, and at the start of the third quarter, they end up sending out a press notice saying that Ariel Atkins is not returning for the game. Leg injury. And so before halftime, the Chicago Sky was actually looking very good in terms of the way they were handling the pressure from Minnesota. And they looked good until the second half, where the Chicago Sky, their spacing collapsed. And all of a sudden, we started to see a compounding of bad defense and horrible turnovers on the offensive end. And the Minnesota Lynx took advantage. We saw Napheesa Collier take advantage. We saw Courtney Williams take advantage in yesterday's game. And ultimately, that was the ball game. That was what was a 2-point lead for the Chicago Sky at halftime turned into a very wide margin of victory for the Minnesota Lynx. Ultimately, the Lynx win 91-78. In this game, we saw Napheesa Collier, the MVP herself, have 29 points in this one. Honestly, I didn't realize how many points she had until the game was over. I was like, whoa. Because some of those points, it was kind of quiet a little bit. 29 points for Napheesa Collier, 5 assists for her. She was lights out yesterday. Lights out. She was getting to her spots early and just rocking out, making it happen. And when Napheesa's cooking, you're going to have a hard time winning. But when Napheesa and Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams are cooking, it's hard to have a chance when you got all those players cooking, right? Courtney Williams, she was like, nah, y'all was clowning me after the loss on Saturday, saying y'all lost to Chicago, And she's like, hey, I got to step up my game. And she did. She did step up her game, right? 19 points for Courtney Williams. She was cooking, especially in that first half, where she was just getting to her mid-range shots. We all know Courtney Williams as a mid-range assassin, and that's what she was doing yesterday. She was rocking and rolling and looking very good at it. Courtney Williams, 18 points for her, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. She was looking to get a triple-double in yesterday's game, and her dad was there. I met her dad before the game. Very, very nice guy. The guy's a celebrity. I posted a video of him on Twitter, so check that out if you want. But yeah, she was fantastic yesterday. And when I actually came to the game, I came early to walk around the floor and take some photos and whatnot, and take some video. I don't think I posted this. Maybe I did. I can't remember. So I was watching Kayla McBride in warmups, and she was nailing 3 after 3 after 3 after, like she could barely miss. Before the game, Kayla McBride was like lights out shooting, and I was like, well, I think this is about to be one of those games where Kayla McBride goes off a little bit. And she kind of did, guys. 17 points for Kayla McBride. K-Mac was doing her thing in yesterday's game. She knocked down 3 threes as well. She was looking good. And again, when you got Nafisa Collier with 29 points, when you have Courtney Williams with 18 points, when you have Kayla McBride with 17 points, it's hard to win against that. It's hard to win. And for the Chicago Sky, really good first half. Really, really good first half, but it went down the drain once we saw Ariel Atkins go down. Right? Ariel Atkins, yes, only had 2 points in yesterday's game. However, it's the spacing that she allows for. Because you know how good she is, her defender has to kind of stay home, which does, even if she's not going off, it does lead to more opportunities for other players, right? It does lead to that. However, with her being out in that second half, the spacing was screwed up for the Chicago Sky. We saw a ton of switches that led to steals, and also we saw the Chicago Sky finish the game with how many turnovers they had? They had 18 turnovers in yesterday's game. And I believe, don't totally quote me, I believe they had around 7, at halftime. I believe they had like around 7 turnovers at halftime. And that turnover metric ballooned because we started to see dumb pass after dumb pass. Yes, was the defense for the Minnesota Lynx on point at times yesterday? Absolutely. Were they being more physical than they were on Saturday? Absolutely. However, there were so many unforced turnovers yesterday. So many. And Angel even owned up to it in the press conference, and she's like, "Hey, that's unacceptable. Like some of the turnovers, that is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable." And yeah, it's clear as day. There were some things where it was like, "Oh, good idea, just too slow a pass, or the angle was wrong." But like the idea was there. It's just it wasn't totally clicking. And truly, I really do think it started once the team basically found out that Ariel Atkins was not going to finish out the game. Right? And then for the Chicago, and so instead of having a great defensive player like an Ariel Atkins on the floor, instead of having someone who can give you some offensive firepower, you have to go to your bench. Right? And in the fourth quarter, it went from bad to worse. It went from bad to worse for the Chicago Sky, as not only did you have Ariel Atkins out, Michaela Onyenwere went down. It looked like she may have gotten the wind knocked out of her. She went down and was down for a while. They ended up like putting the towels around her, but in the press conference it seemed like Tyler was basically saying that Michaela's okay, and they'll see about Ariel Atkins to see like what what's going on going forward. But Michaela Onyenwere ended up leaving out the game, and so. To close out the game, I think it was Rachel Banham, Haley. It was three very short guards on the floor to close out the game, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. It wasn't the best, but it kind of is what it is. Here's the thing, guys. This team, the Chicago Sky team, has a lot of potential, right? I think it was Kia Nurse, Haley Van Lith, and Rachel Banham that kind of finished out the game in terms of the guards, and not the best of like closing out lineup for the team. But at that time, the game was basically over anyway, so I guess it didn't totally matter. But the Chicago Sky, they have a lot of potential. It's just that truly they can't. There's no margin for error. There's no margin for injuries with this team, right? And so I really do think that if the starting 5 was healthy for the entire game, I really do think it would have went down to the wire. Now, would the Minnesota Lynx still have won? Probably, but yeah, I think it would have went down to the wire. We'll see what they say about Ariel Atkins today. Okay, we'll see what they say. But overall, I would say really good game by the Minnesota Lynx. solid game for the Chicago Sky. Again, the first half was great. And overall, the post battle between Angel and Nafisa Collier, that's fun to watch. That's fun to watch. Both of them players, I really do think they bring the best out of each other. Like it was great. It was great to see. Angel once again does a great job scoring yesterday. 22 points, 9 of 14 from the field. She was good. Got another double, but the reason why she was just good and not great is because of the turnovers. There were so many turnovers yesterday for Angel, and she ended up with like 5 turnovers. And I would say probably 3 of them were totally unforced turnovers. Totally unforced turnovers where it wasn't the defense, right? It was just miscue. Just the thought was there, but the execution was not there, right? But good game overall for her. 22 points, 10 rebounds. Like she does her thing, but the turnovers killed her in yesterday's game. And she said it herself. She owned up to it at the post game presser and whatnot. And Rachel Banham, really good minutes for her. Good job knocking down a 3. And for the Chicago Sky, they really do need more of this 3-point assassin, Rachel Banham. That's what they need, right? That is exactly what they need. Gotti says 5 turnovers is great. 5 turnovers is not great. Right? It's not great. It's not great. But yeah, she would have her game would have been great if she didn't have all these unforced turnovers, especially like the one where the Lynx scored and then Angel's taking it out of bounds. She's not even looking. She just throws it in. Thinking that Rachel Banham was there, turnover, easy score, and like it was just like, come on now, come on. But it is what it is. It is what it is. She's still learning. The whole team is still learning, right? New coach, like they're still trying to get it together, and I think it'll come. Like I'm not too worried. Overall, a really good first half. Yeah, second half not great, but you do beat the best team in the WNBA, and you go neck and neck in the first half with them. Like that's pretty good. Pretty good overall. All right, let's get to the super chats. Stern, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, meet the press, best photo ever. And I do. My parents are there, my mom and my dad, and so they took my seat for the game because I couldn't sit there. And after the game, my mom was like, "Hey, save your press badge so you can put that in your mementos." And so that's what I'm gonna do. Bernadine, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, thank you for being you. Love Meet the Press. I appreciate it. The Perspective, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, breaking news. Quita looks like Portland decided on Portland Fire as the team name. Breaking news. All right. Well, I figured they were gonna name the team that. Portland Fire. Portland Fire reborn yesterday. Yesterday they posted a photo that said our fire never died. And officially, the Portland Fire is back, which is good. I really do like the fact that that this is a name that is coming back, right? I do like that a lot. Okay. All right, I do like that. All right, so let's get into the other story, the final story. Well, we may have time actually. Yeah, we may have time to do Aaliyah, to do the fire. But thank you so much for that breaking news, the Perspective. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the other prepared story, and that is Aaliyah Boston. So, let's talk about Aaliyah Boston and what she did yesterday, because today, Tuesday, July the 15th, is not just another day, guys. It's not just another day on the calendar, which it is. Happy Tuesday, everybody. But today, in Boston, guys, It is Aaliyah Boston Day. So I don't know if y'all know this, but yeah, today we are celebrating Aaliyah Boston Day. Celebrating the awesome day that is AB Day in the city of Boston, which is kind of cool, right? Aaliyah Boston is someone who has been a fantastic player on the East Coast, right? And this is someone who is getting a well-deserved honor because, yeah, Aaliyah Boston has done a lot, right? She's Rookie of the Year. She's a 3-time WNBA All-Star. She's a national champion with South Carolina. And most importantly, to the Boston, Massachusetts area, she was a Worcester Academy legend. She attended Worcester Academy, which looks like it's like just outside of Boston. And she came back to that area yesterday in advance of today's game at TD Garden, where the Indiana Fever will take on the Connecticut Sun. Right? And the city of Boston showed how much she meant to them, right? At the Massachusetts State House on Monday, the governor, various city leaders, a bunch of fans honored Aaliyah Boston for everything she represents, right? She represents the new era of women's sports, an era of excellence, of resilience, of fire, right? And you gotta love to see it. You have to love to see it, right? The governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, said yesterday, "Today, players are inspiring women and girls all over the world. And you know what? They're inspiring men and boys as well. And that's a great thing. That has everything to do with the role models that we're seeing in the WNBA, and there's no better example of a role model than Aaliyah Boston." So, with that, Aaliyah Boston got her own proclamation. July the 15th is officially Aaliyah Boston Day in Boston. Right? It is pretty cool. One of the city councilors, Brian Worrell, says Aaliyah Boston and the WNBA in the same, because of Aaliyah Boston's last name, he was saying Boston and the WNBA in the same sentence sure does sound good, doesn't it? Because, of course, Boston truly is trying to get a WNBA team, and we'll see ultimately if they end up doing that. But yeah, here's the kicker, guys. Not only was yesterday seen as, not only was Aaliyah Boston honored yesterday with the proclamation of July 15th being Aaliyah Boston Day. Not only that, she didn't just come back to celebrate in the Boston area. No, she came back to invest. On Monday, Aaliyah Boston also announced that she was one of the newest investors in Boston Legacy FC. This is a new NWSL franchise that is beginning play soon. And so, yeah, Aaliyah Boston, not only is she making moves on the basketball court, not only is she doing stuff like that, not only is she getting her own day proclaimed in the city, she is also investing in the future of women's sports. She's putting her money behind women's sports in her hometown area, right? Aaliyah Boston already joins a star-studded list of investors in the team already. Allie Raisman is a investor. Brad Stevens is an investor, right? The team, the new NWSL team, will begin play at Gillette Stadium before moving to a permanent home sometime in 2027. And Aaliyah Boston kind of talked about she kind of talked about this whole situation. She said that the city of Boston helped raise her, right? She said she couldn't be where she is now without the support that she's had. And she said, I think growing up in Worcester and being in Boston made the most sense because obviously my last name is Boston. My last name is pretty cool. But honestly, I think being able to invest in a professional league is so important because as a professional athlete, as a professional women's athlete, it's so crucial to make sure that we have exactly everything that we need and we're taken care of. I know that Boston Legacy is going to do that. Yeah, it's absolutely fire. So again, shout out to Aaliyah Boston. What a monumental thing to do. It's pretty cool. Aaliyah Boston also said, I'm proud to join the ownership group of Boston Legacy. The city helped raise me, and the support I felt here shaped so much of who I am. I couldn't be more excited to have the opportunity to invest into a franchise that's building something special for its players, for the city, and for women's sports as a whole. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Aaliyah Boston is not alone. She is one of many in terms of a growing trend of WNBA players who are stepping into ownership. Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, they're all proven that the business of women's sports belongs to women too, in terms of ownership. So, here's the big picture. Aaliyah Boston is still very young, right? She is still a very, very young player in her early 20s. She's already a multiple-time All-Star, a college champion, and now she's an investor. Her jersey hangs in the rafters at Worcester Academy, and her name is literally on the Boston calendar. It's not just a homecoming for Aaliyah Boston today. In a lot of ways, this is just another power move for a powerful player. So, happy Aaliyah Boston Day. You've got a fantastic legacy that you've built in the Boston area, and your legacy is just getting started. All right, guys, that's what I want to talk about. Here's the thing on this channel. I love to talk about stuff that maybe y'all have heard about, maybe you haven't, and I want to talk about it in depth to really give honor to what's happening out there. Like Aaliyah Boston, dude, that's not just a random footnote about someone becoming a investor in a team, right? It's not just a footnote of somebody getting a whole day named after them in the city of Boston, a major city in the United States. This is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal. And it's important to talk about it, right? It's important to talk about. Okay? All right. Nicholas, thank you so much for the super chat, says, congrats on the press credentials. Let's all chip in to help with travel for Indy. Looking forward to coverage of the weekend. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, it's about to be a fun time. I'm very excited. Truly, I'm going down there on Thursday, and I'll be covering all the stuff. But yeah, again, kind of nervous, but excited, and I'm just ready to rock and roll. I'm just so excited. It should be really fun to just cover the game and try to get some interviews, try to talk to more people and whatnot. And truly part of the reason why I wanted to even be the media for yesterday's game was to try to just get my feet wet a little bit, to get out of that mode of Quita the fan, because I feel like I can no longer be Quita the fan. I feel like I have to be, from now on, for the most part, Quita the neutral observer, which I usually am, but not all the time. And so it's a new way that I have to think about myself, right? And so that's a whole thing, and something I have to get used to, right? But yeah, it's a whole new thing. It's a whole new thing for me, and again, gone is like the idea of like cheering for you know, the Sky. Like I can't, like when I go to the games, I cannot cheer for the Sky, right? I can't, you know, I can't like do the things I used to do. And so like it's a whole like mindset shift. And so like it's a whole thing. And so yeah, I don't know. It should be fun, I guess. It should be fun. Anyway. Pete says they're trying to lure Boston from Indiana. I mean, shouldn't they? That makes sense, right? Now, I do really think they really did want to honor Aaliyah Boston because Aaliyah Boston's awesome. But sure, in the backs of some of their minds, was it like, oh man, hopefully, you know, she'll consider us when we do get a team, because Boston's definitely getting a team. Like they're definitely getting a team for sure. Right? So like, sure, maybe in their head, you know, there was a little bit of, you know, let's hope for that she considers us, but no, I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why. All right. Okay. Rotu says, Quita, it's all good. Progression is awesome. You can do an inner silent cheer. Yeah, what's going on in the chat? What's going on in the chat? I mean, dude, mods are doing a great job. Okay, so support the mods. Shout out to Tisha, who's in the chat today. Appreciate your support. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have time to like go back and look at it. I'll look at it later. But anyway, shout out to the mods. Like, okay, and be respectful and like listen to them. Okay, please, thank you. All right, guys, I will see y'all in the next one. And shout out to the new name, Portland Fire. Portland Fire is back, and that is very, very exciting. Okay. And also, guys, y'all can always, if y'all don't like what someone says, y'all can always block them, right? You can always, you know, curate your own, viewing in terms of the chat. And so, like, yeah, hopefully that helps. But yeah, I'll probably check later to see like what truly is going on in chat. Anyway, I see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Make sure to hit that like and hit that subscribe button. And I will see y'all in the next one. And for those who are wondering, for those who are wondering about my shirt, it says Chicago versus everybody. It's a bear shirt. It's a bear shirt, okay? All right, so if y'all are curious, it's a bear shirt. Y'all can get this from the CHGO merch store. So yeah, I think it looks pretty awesome. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good one. And yeah, here's my long-winded outro. And also, yesterday I forgot this, but today I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna find my outro, and then we will end with that once I can find it. But again, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I thank you very much. Until y'all feel some type of way about me saying I can't cheer for the team anymore. Lindy says, Quita, we still want to see you yelling for your team. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah. The perspective says you're being too hard on yourself. Plenty of people in the media are fans of teams. You can root for the Sky as long as your takes are objective and you're fair to the players you cover. I mean, yes, I still want the Sky to win. I'm just saying, like, I can't like visibly cheer at games, and so like that's a mind shift for me. Of course, yes. Do I still want the Sky to win? Of course, yeah, absolutely. But like it is kind of a shift there that I kind of got to get used to. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next one. Till next time. Oh, I almost forgot. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.